Another weekend has come and gone, and so have many Red Raiders loved ones who spent time on the Texas Tech campus for Family Weekend. Coming up, we'll have a look at a few of the dozens of events that filled this year's calendar.
One of the biggest events of this year's Family Weekend celebration happened on Saturday as Texas Tech football welcomed in Oklahoma State, but there was more than one option for visitors to catch Red Raiders in person here on campus. MCTV's Aiden Wasson has the details on a very busy weekend of action and sports.
And just over 100 years ago, students first headed to classes here at Texas Tech, but coursework and exams weren't the only thing keeping Red Raiders busy back then. Find out how one student group is also celebrating their centennial, helping to preserve free speech and free press here on campus.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Yemi Akinyeye.
And I'm Cassandra Raucheisen. The Texas Tech campus is feeling a bit empty today as thousands of parents, siblings, and other family members headed home after spending the weekend with their Red Raiders.
Family Weekend 2025 officially came to an end yesterday afternoon, but before then, the campus hosted more than 24 events, tours, and other opportunities for students and their loved ones to experience Texas Tech. On Friday evening, the Sub was one of the central locations for Family Weekend events. The evening schedule included a photo booth, a housing fair, and a family dinner hosted by the Texas Tech Parents Association in the Sub Ballroom. The dinner included a buffet for attendees, a raffle for dozens of items and local experiences, and a chance to sit down and enjoy a meal together as a family. The family dinner is an annual tradition hosted by the Parents Association. Executive Director Debbie Guerra says Family Weekend and events like the dinner may be the first time Red Raiders and their families have seen each other in person in months.
As a parent of Texas Tech students, it is to make sure that you get to come and see your student, especially for freshman parents. This is the first time they've actually got to see their students since they moved them in. So I think that's a big relief to them, knowing that they get to see the campus again in a different light and knowing that they get to see their students.
Attendees of the Friday family dinner could come and go between 5:30 and 8 p.m. Once they had their fill of the food and purchased raffle tickets, they could then head out to the Sub courtyard to the housing fair. During the fair, Red Raiders and their families could explore future housing options beyond the Texas Tech campus.
Across the courtyard from the ballroom, Family Weekend attendees had another option to spend time together on Friday night. But unlike other events, students and their families were invited to put on their competitive spirit to test in a unique musical competition. The Student Activities Board took over the Allen Theater stage on Friday night for families to test their skills in a lip-sync battle. Each set of participants chose a song from a list of options and then headed on stage to prepare for their performance. The stage featured several colored tents with props and wigs for contestants to use during the lip-sync battle. In place of microphones, the performers used fake mics and toilet brushes. Once the battle started, students and their families took the stage with the music video playing in the background. Friday's lip sync battle also started at 5:30 and ran until 9 p.m., giving families plenty of time to stop by other sub-events before heading to the Allen Theater. The lip sync battle was the Student Activities Board's last event of Family Weekend, but as always, the group already had more fun and free options coming up this week. You can check out sab.ttu.edu for more info and look for the activity calendar near the bottom of the page.
Many of Texas Tech's colleges and departments also joined in on the Family Weekend fun last week. Options varied from a pop-in at the College of Media and Communication to tours at the Academic Sciences Building to tailgating 101 at the College of Education. And one other option featured a combination of outdoor fun, live animals, and a chance to check out one of Texas Tech's oldest buildings. On Friday evening, the Davis College of Agriculture and Natural Resources hosted Davis College Family Night at the Dairy Barn. A list of activities and events started outside with a photo op with a miniature horse and lawn games. Families could then head inside the facility for a resource fair to learn about the college's student organizations and several opportunities for majors in the college. Attendees could pick up lots of swag, and the event also featured snacks and drinks for Red Raiders and their families. The Davis College Family Night also allowed visitors to see the inside of the Dairy Barn facility, which has been a part of the campus since Texas Tech opened in 1925. The Family Night event was one of the last options on Friday's schedule, but other opportunities continued into the weekend, finishing out with last night's soccer game against Kansas State.
The West Texas weather cooperated for most part for the Family Weekend festivities, but it definitely felt a lot more like fall than previous weekends in October.
High stayed in the 70s on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, making this the first weekend without a high above 80 degrees this fall. But last night, high humidity and a drop in temperatures made it feel even more like autumn. Early this morning, a dense fog swept over the Lubbock area. The fog created travel issues with low visibility, especially before sunrise. After the sun came up, the fog began to move out of the area, but students heading to 8 a.m. classes may have had to travel a bit slower, especially if they were out on the roads. The fog lifted around 9 a.m., but overcast skies stuck around until late morning.
The fog may be gone now, but it was just the first sign of some big changes headed our way this week. Let's take a look at the MCTV's forecast. The skies are a lot clearer this afternoon on the MCTV tower cam. The clouds moved out of the area before noon, and since then we've seen mostly sunny skies and temperatures climbing into the 70s. Unlike this weekend, we should see highs into the 80s late this afternoon, but that may be as warm as it gets this week. Starting around sunrise tomorrow, a cold front will move into the area. Although temperatures will still be around normal tomorrow morning, highs are expected to reach into the mid-60s into the afternoon and then tomorrow night. The biggest change will start to set in with lows expected to drop into the 40s and upper 30s early Wednesday morning. After that, Wednesday will be even cooler and there's a chance of freeze before the sun comes up Thursday. Along with the change in temperatures, we'll also see a lot more wind tomorrow, with speeds climbing between 25 and 35 miles an hour. That also means that the wind chill will be a factor, with temperatures feeling even cooler throughout the day. With the change in temperatures, fog remains a possibility throughout the rest of the week, but there's no rain chances in the forecast right now. Looking ahead, temperatures will climb into the weekend, and we may see another day of 80-degree highs on Sunday.
This past weekend's cooler temperatures didn't put a damper on the athletic action across campus. Several Red Raider teams had matchups at home, giving students and their families a chance to help cheer on the teams to victory.
MCTV's Aiden Wasson joins us now in studio with a look back at Tech Athletics' most recent action and preview of what's next on the schedule in sports. Aiden?
Thank you, Cassandra and Yemi. As Lubbock welcomed parents from across the country this past weekend, Red Raider Sports made sure to keep the energy up with 2 soccer games, a volleyball game, and of course, the parents' weekend football matchup. Let's kick things off with volleyball. After a heartbreaking loss to Colorado on Wednesday, Texas Tech Volleyball traveled to Orlando this weekend to take on UCF. The Red Raiders entered the match winless in conference play and looking to snap an 8-game losing streak. In the first set, it looked like more of the same as UCF jumped out to a quick 12-5 lead and went on to take it 25-17. But Tech started to find their rhythm in the second. The Red Raiders held a 3-point edge midway through the set and extended that lead 21-15 late. UCF tried to rally, but Tech held strong and closed it out 25-21. Riding that momentum into the third set, Texas Tech came out firing, building an early lead and never looking back, taking it 25-19. In the fourth, Tech once again jumped out ahead to an early lead, but UCF fought back to tie things up at 11. The Knights took a brief lead at 15-14, but the Red Raiders refused to back down. They climbed back to tie it at 23 and then sealed the deal by taking the final 2 points, claiming their first conference win of the season and snapping that long losing streak. Texas Tech now sits at 9-12 overall and 1-8 in conference play. They will take on Arizona at home this Wednesday at 6 p.m. If you're not headed out to the USA, you can catch the game on ESPN+. Another away game took place this past Thursday as our 5th-ranked women's soccer squad took on the 22nd-ranked Colorado Buffaloes in Boulder, Colorado. The Red Raiders have been striding along this season as they came into this game 12-1-2 on the season, and they were holding on to a 9-game winning streak. But this match on the road against a ranked opponent would prove to be a test for the Red Raiders as the Buffaloes scored twice within the first 15 minutes of the first period. Thanks to Ava Priest and Hope Leba, throughout the game, the Red Raiders managed to shoot the ball 17 times and force Colorado's goalie to make 10 saves. But after another goal in the 62nd minute by the Buffaloes, Texas Tech ultimately suffered their first conference loss, 3-0, while also snapping their 9-game winning streak. But Texas Tech was looking to get their swagger back on Sunday against the Kansas State Wildcats at home, and they got their swagger back indeed as Taylor Zdrojewski hit a dinger into the goal in the 20th minute. But Kansas State responded with a goal of their own early in the second period. Tied at 1-1 in the second half, this matchup seemed to be a nail-biter. This was until Texas Tech scored 2 goals within 4 minutes of each other in the middle of the second half, one thanks to Zdrojewski and another at the feet of Macy Blackburn. Texas Tech went on to win the match 3-1. Texas Tech is now 13-2 overall on the season and is currently holding the number 2 spot in the Big 12 standings. The Red Raiders will take on the UCF Knights at home on Thursday at 7 p.m. for the last game of the regular season. After last week's brutal loss against Arizona State, Texas Tech football looked to regain its footing and make a statement win. After a short lightning delay, number 14 ranked Texas Tech football faced off against the 1-6 Oklahoma State Cowboys in front of a sold-out crowd at the Jones. As the opening kick rang off, Jacoby Williams made sure to silence any critics as he returned the kickoff 99 yards for a touchdown on the very first play of the game. But if that wasn't enough for the doubters, 4 plays later, Texas Tech blocked a punt, and then Will Hammond came on the field for one play to throw a touchdown pass to Jacoby Williams. With Texas Tech holding a 2-score lead in the first 3 minutes of the game, it seemed that Texas Tech might just run away with it. At the end of the first quarter, Cameron Dickey took another touchdown in for the Red Raiders to push the lead to 21. In the second quarter, things quieted down for Texas Tech with little to no offensive production. But after a 9-yard run, second-string quarterback Will Hammond went down with a knee injury. Hammond took the place of starting quarterback Baron Morton for the past 2 weeks, but after his injury, third-string quarterback Mitch Griffs suited up and took the field. While the offense remained quiet, towards the end of the second quarter, Jacob Rodriguez flawlessly stripped the ball from the Cowboys running back and took it back to the house for a 69-yard fumble return touchdown. After the half, third-string quarterback Mitch Griffs took the field and led the Red Raiders to an 8-play, 83-yard touchdown drive, capped off by a 42-yard pass to Caleb Douglas. Mitch Griffs ran another touchdown in at the end of the third, and the Red Raider defense held the Oklahoma State Cowboys to 182 yards and no touchdowns, as well as a pair of turnovers as the Red Raiders went on to win this game 42-0. After the win, Texas Tech saw a 1-spot bump in the AP polls to put them at number 13. They are now 7-1 on the season and are the 4th-ranked team in the Big 12 along with Houston, Cincinnati, and BYU. Texas Tech will face the Kansas State Wildcats in Manhattan this Saturday at 2:30 Central on Fox. That's all for sports. Back to you, Cassandra and Yemi.
Thanks, Aiden. Since the beginning of the fall semester, Texas Tech has been celebrating 100 years since classes officially began here on campus.
But not just academics started in 1925. Several other long-running student organizations are also celebrating their centennial, including one group who has been keeping the Red Raider community informed since the very beginning. Over the weekend, Toreador Media held several events for their centennial weekend celebration. The group, which publishes the Daily Toreador newspaper, held a centennial welcome reception on Thursday, followed by a celebration dinner on Friday, a game day mixer on Saturday, and an alumni group photo to finish out on Sunday. The highlight of the weekend was Friday's centennial dinner, where current staff joined alumni to commemorate 100 years of free speech and free press at Texas Tech. The dinner featured several former editors of the paper, along with current students and Toreador Media director Sherry Lewis. Lewis organized the event and invited attendees back for another celebration in the not-so-near future.
This is the official save the date, October 3rd, 2075, which will mark the sesquicentennial of the Daily Toreador. We'll be opening the time capsule at that time, and I'm already sketching out plans.
During the dinner, current students and alumni were asked to fill out message cards to share their thoughts and memories to be placed in a time capsule. The time capsule includes other Toreador Media, publications, and memorabilia, and is scheduled to be opened in 2075. The Toreador Media Centennial officially kicked off earlier this month on October 3rd, which marked the 100th anniversary of the first newspaper published at Texas Tech in 1925.
So, Yemi, did you attend any of the family weekend events?
No, I didn't, because my parents claimed that it's too far for them to make it here on Family Weekend. How about you?
Yeah, my parents are too far as well. That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.